So can you tell us some of the impacts of climate change on your communities?
Okay. Okay. Let's go back a little bit earlier introduction. My people, we are Bache people. We live in the central plains of Taiwan, central area. But as I said, due to colonialization, we're pushed back to more like hill, between the hills and the plains. My family are from the Miaoli County, but we also have relative in the central Taiwan called Nantou area and Taichung area. It has climate change. We do see it affects number one, the severity of storm in the Asia region. It's a typhoon. So all of a sudden you got this record rainfall. The magnitude of storm is much more severe. So you got flooding, landslide, because they're just all of a sudden the typhoon is more frequent or getting more severe, like bigger typhoon. So our people, most Pingpu people are agriculturalists, that you were farmers, because we own the land, we were working on this land. So most of us still living in our community. So even my family, they're still farmers. We still have a land, like rice, and we have banana and fruit and vegetable. We still have our crop.
You have formal title.
Yes, we still have, and in fact, my family still have many land contracts that we signed saying we sold these to government or some Chinese family, some name. And it also sets up boundary of the Manchu dynasty in the 100 years ago, saying, oh, Bache people, this family, they have this land from that tree over to the end of the mountaintop to the river area. So in international terms, that is land treaty. But government don't recognize it as such. So I'm also fighting for that you should recognize our land treaty, our title land, but they don't. So we are, Taiwan, in terms of my struggle, is still way ahead, a big gap to catch up to international standard. Government is pretty atrocious. So, but I'll tell you one specific case, okay? 2 years ago, there was a typhoon called Morakot typhoon. This went to Philippines and Taiwan. My fellow friends, I do organization of indigenous peoples. Okay. This community is called Tavulong. It's one of the 10 tribes of Pingpu people. They're in southern Taiwan. Because of colonialization, they were pushed into the more mountain area. And what happened in Morakot typhoon? It had a record rainfall and the whole mountain collapsed. It buried that village. It was a severe tragedy. It said it was the most worst tragedy in the modern Taiwan history in terms of natural disaster. More than 400 people of the Pingpu people lost their life. The whole village is wiped out. So that was a very, very sad tragedy. That typhoon also affected other Taiwanese people in the other community and also some of the mountain tribes called Namasha area. But the Pingpu people, that area called Xiaoling, and the people called Tavulong, I have been to the community because I do all this, like me and my father, we do all this, we organize the Pingpu people, the 10 tribes, come together, lobby, and organize demonstration, go to like a Taipei capital city, to the government offices, demand our rights, and we must be recognized, give us return our indigenous status. But government still they don't care. Even, we have the changing of government, KMT, and both government, when they still don't recognize us, so we don't know who to turn to, so we come to international, we come to the UN International Community Appeal. But that's why I want to say, climate change has resulted in severity of typhoon storms, a lot of flooding, landslide. Taiwan is an island arc, a mountain chain, very, very fragile, and all these mountain and fast water, a flash flood. Pingpu people are worse affected. We are the victim of climate change. And another thing is, you get either severity of typhoon, then in southern central area, winter period, drought, you don't get rainfall. So my fellow friend, there is a group called in Pingtung area called Makatao people, Makatao. He grows guava fruit and also rice and other like pineapple for sale. He has been very bad crop because of water, precipitation, lack of rainfall. Meanwhile, government is increasing the cost of all the fertilizer. Everything cost going up, so he cannot make a living. He's like dire poverty. This is happening to my people. I'm working for all the Pingpu people of Taiwan with one recognition.
I'm just curious, have they converted over to the Western model of using fertilizers based on fossil fuels, or do they grow organically traditionally?
Okay. In Taiwan, farmers traditionally it's not a Western model. A lot of agricultural practices were introduced by the Japanese when they have the colonializing period. This is I get from the late 1800 to the 1945 Second World War. Taiwan, we say we have 5 decades, 50 years of Japanese colonialization. Then following that is about like a same period amount, like 60 years of this KMT, right? Nationalist Chinese colonialization. That's right. Chiang Kai-shek. That's right. Well, they lost the Civil War to Mao Zedong and Communist forces, but they came occupy Taiwan. So we say we're the victim of this nationalist occupation army. Many Taiwanese people believe that. I do too, because they impose the Chinese language, Chinese culture on us. So what I want to say is that the Pingpu people, the agriculture technique were introduced by Japanese to all of Taiwan. So in the old days they were doing things differently. But in the last 10 years, due to international, more about green energy environment, there are many farmers going to organic farming now. And they want to do the natural way. But still, fertilizer, that kind of intensive use is very much practiced. Not because we want to, but that's government, agriculture department is pushing all that.
Is it for export or?
Yes, it's both for own consumption and for export. Taiwan export a lot of fruit to China and also mainland China now, and also Southeast Asia. Because of the Japanese and also Western technology, Taiwan have a very good agriculture and plant scientific technology. So they are able to, how do I say this, improve all kind of different species, new, like bigger, better fruit, like pineapple, papaya, guava fruit, watermelon, peach. You said that Taiwan has at least before good rainfall, and even rice, you have 2 crops a year, and some southern area 3 crops a year. And because of course it's an island, so we do have an ocean influence. So at least in most of its history, Taiwan has at least we have the precipitation, and also it's like on a subtropical rainfall. So it's good for crops and all kind of growing fruits and vegetables and fruits. So agriculture used to be a very big part of Taiwan technology, but now also in the last 30, 40 years, it's also industry, manufacturing, computer, electronics. But having said that, you were interested about agriculture. Is that we do export a lot of fruit for Southeast Asia, Japan, and China. But Taiwan is still a lot of agriculture crops and all that is being for own consumption and export.